we're going to talk about the 4 system utilities which are available in your slides, right? So these are all system utilities, which is part of the system software ecosystem. Right? The first one being the file manager. What is that? I think most of us know what this is. It's just that we're not sure what to call it. We just call it the window, or we just call it, if we never had a name for it, we take it for granted rather, I think. Right? In reality, if you don't have the file manager, imagine if you don't have the window where you have all your folders in. How then would you, for example, rename your files or copy paste your files from one folder to the other, rename and delete, for example, clear your rubbish bin, recycle bin, arrange your files according to date or according to name, and etc. Right? So that is called the file manager, where you can do lots of things to manage your files. Right? Next is disk management. Now, this is where you go through your disk, your hard disk, and manage it. Right? For example, you can scan it, see if there's anything wrong with it, corrupted files, whatever corrupted it is. You can decide to clean it up. Right? There have been files that you haven't been using for like 2 or 3 years, right, or 2 or 3 months, right, which you want to get rid of. And then you can defragment. Defragment is rearranging. Right? So basically, this is scan for anything wrong. Right? Look for anything wrong. This is for getting rid of old items, identify and getting rid of old items. This is for rearranging. It's like, for example, if you have your room like this, and you have items randomly scattered like that, even if it's just 3 items, it seems almost as if your room is full, right? But if you arrange everything so that, let's say, you take this thing here, and put it here, and you take this thing here, and put it here, now you have lots of empty space. You can play ping pong or futsal or whatever, right? So that is this defragmentation. It is where you rearrange the content of your hard disk. Okay. Actually, before we do that, a lot of people actually do this first: compress, right? Meaning they zip or unzip their files, right? You can archive it. You can, when you compress, it means you make it smaller, right? And you put it into archive. Archives, right? So this is where your files are smaller than their original size, and it makes a lot of sense when you're managing your system in your disk, right? Next is backup software. Also quite important, especially nowadays when there's lots of threats and everything. What is backup software actually helps you do backup, and usually when you do this, you do it on a different drive. Meaning to say that if you have your disk, your C drive, right, which is your main hard disk area, and you back up inside C drive again, it almost makes no sense, because if that drive is corrupted, then everything is gone, right? So maybe you can buy an external hard disk or something and back it up there. And why do we back up? Or rather, how do we back up? Let's say there are 2 types of backup that we're going to learn today. One is the full. The other is the incremental. What does that mean? Okay, it goes like this. Let's say you purchase your computer, and this is point A, right? Buy computer. And then you install a few things. Do a bit of work, right? So save a few things, save a few things, and we call this point B. Right? And then after some time, you maybe uninstall things, install new things, right? You delete a few things, you save other things, right? And we call this point C. Now, after you've bought your computer and installed a few things, maybe you feel, oh, you know what, if something wrong happens here, I'm in trouble. So you want to back up. This is called full backup. Right? Then you do a few changes, meaning you uninstall a few things, you install other things, you delete a few things, you save other things. Now, you have a choice of whether backing up like this or backing up like this. If you do it like this is called incremental backup. If you do it like this is another full backup, right? So once you have other things running and other things changing in your computer, you can choose to have another full backup or incremental, right? So that is full and incremental backup, and these are the 4 system utilities that we've discussed. Of course, we have other things like antivirus and etc., device drivers and whatnot.